Turn it up so everybody can hear you guys. Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome, everybody, to the second Bumble podcast. We have special guests today that are all pretty much really close people to me. And I'm really excited for you guys to talk to them and get to know them. We'll be taking questions at the end, so hold on to them. And I'm trying to make each podcast that I do better and better because I've been looking at comments from both during the podcast, after, on YouTube, and all that. So yeah. Let's go ahead and get started by introductions and telling us a little bit about all the people that we have today. Starting with Tanner, can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do and for how long you've been doing it for?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Tanner. I have been a FPS player, first-person shooter player and streamer for a little while now. I'd probably say I've been playing the genre for 10 years, but streaming-wise, I've been a streamer on Twitch for about 6. I think we're coming up to 7 years, I think. But yeah, I mainly play just FPS genre games.
Thank you, Tanner.
Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, since I have this question separated, but I see that you have the TSM logo on your chair. Could you tell us a little bit about the org, or the org that you work for?
Yes.
Or they are part of?
I just joined TSM. It was this past September, so I haven't been with them for too long, but being a part of TSM has been amazing. That is the logo on the chair. They sent me this chair. But yeah, I'm just a content creator right now for TSM.
And thank you, Tanner. Appreciate it. Next we have Proxy. Proxy, could you tell us a little about you and what you do and for how long, and if you're part of an org?
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Proxy. I'm from Norway. I'm 23 years old and I just moved here to LA from Berlin because I used to live in Germany for the past 3 years. I'm a streamer for Misfits and the Misfits esports organization, not the Misfits band or podcast or whatever. And yeah, I've been with them for almost 2 years now, and I've been streaming for 6.5 years, I think, since October 2013. And yeah, I mainly play League of Legends.
Thank you for joining us, Proxy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next, we have Winston. Winston, could you do a little introduction on who you are, if you're part of any org or company, and how long you've been doing it for?
Sure. Hi, my name is Winston. I actually moved to LA a month ago from Australia, and I'm currently the video content manager for GenG. And it's been really fun moving to LA. It's definitely been a dream of mine to come to America and work in esports, and I'm loving it. And I've been meeting a lot of really good people, good friends. Everyone's really nice here, and yeah.
Got 2 huge moves.
Yeah.
Across the freaking country, or world, actually. I say country, but I meant world. And Chesney, or Riot Moose, tell us a little bit about you, what you do, for how long you work for a company, or what's good?
Hi everybody, my name's Chesney, but I go by Moose. I work at Riot. I'm in the North American Publishing Department as an art director. I've been there for almost 2 years now, so I'm here in LA.
Welcome, Chesney. Thank you. Glad to have you. Okay, so I wanted to start off by letting you guys just kind of give your perspective on how we met. So, I mean, anyone could take the floor on this one. Just you and me, yeah.
I forget. I think we just started following each other on Twitter and calling each other cute all the time on our pictures.
Tanner, how did we meet?
I think so. I knew of you way before this past year. I would watch you play League all the time. Because when I played, I was ADC main, and when you know play AD, I'd be like, wow, dude, she's so freaking good. And I think it was like just this past year, I think, right?
I think so, yeah.
Where
I went to your stream.
yeah, where
No, it had to be
where I
last
met
year because I met you at TwitchCon. Wait,
Oh,
did I
you-
meet you
right,
at
right, right.
TwitchCon? Yeah, it was last year.
So yeah, that's when we met in person, and we got like dinner with like a bunch of friends and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So-
Oh yeah, Spaghetti Factory with like 15 people.
Oh my god, it was so good.
Wait,
I want to
what?
go back.
Spaghetti Factory?
Yeah, because it was next to the San Diego TwitchCon.
That's an interesting
It's
name
in
for a
downtown.
restaurant.
Spaghetti Factory? You never been?
No.
It's so
It's
good.
so good.
It's so good.
They have
Oh.
tons of stuff too.
Proxy, how did we meet?
Well, first time we like technically met was at like TwitchCon in Berlin.
Last year. Yeah.
But I mean, we didn't really talk much then, so I guess it was more like in Paris when you were there with like my friends, and I was there alone but hanging out with my friends.
Oh yeah,
and
the
then-
bar. The arcade bar,
Yeah.
kinda. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember.
and then yeah, I mean, we properly met and hung out like when I moved to LA because you were very kind to let me hang out with you and introduce me to everyone.
And LCS too, I remember. That was fun. They took the photo of us. Winston, how did we meet? We met really, really recently.
Yeah, well, I met you at DreamHack Anaheim.
Yeah.
Like about 3 weeks ago. We were doing some cool content, but I did know of you way before I moved here from like just your streams and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I remember seeing like your clumsy clips on Twitch, just added towards the end of like those highlight videos. Like I used to watch on YouTube, so
Uh-huh.
that's like kind of like my introduction to like who you were at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And okay, so Winston, I'm gonna come back to you with the next question. What got you into your passion for videography?
Well, it all started about 5 years ago. The first web docu series that I watched was Team Liquid's Rebirth series, and at the time, you know, like I was just figuring out what I wanted to do. I was studying to become a doctor, but that wasn't what I wanted to do. So, like I was like loved games, so I found Team Liquid's Rebirth series, and then I realized that this is really cool, you know, to like kind of tell the stories of the players from behind a camera lens. And you know, I started following the man who made it, Damien Estrada, and like he's played a very big role in my life too, whether he knows it or not. But he has definitely motivated me every single time I think about why I'm doing this, on like just to find a better goal and just to become a better person and become a better creative. So shout out to him if he's watching this or not, but it's because of him that I made it all the way from Australia to LA.
That's wholesome. Wow.
That's awesome.
Damien, please notice. I know you met him at DreamHack.
Yeah, I got a photo with him. I was like
Yeah.
fanboying. Yeah.
Tanner, what got you into your passion for streaming and gaming?
Believe it or not, so I was trying out for the freshman high school team. My brother was a senior at the time. We were going to the same school. He was on varsity, and it was kind of just like, oh, you know, will his little brother make the baseball team? We were in a scrimmage. There was like a tryout, and I threw a baseball from shortstop to first base. So really not even that far of a distance, and I ended up breaking my arm through like my humerus. I literally broke my arm. So in high school, I had like my cast for my arm was in a 90-degree angle. So the only thing that I could do was kind of like hold a controller at the time, because I was doing like a lot of Call of Duty and whatnot. So that's where I think my kind of passion for content creating and gaming kind of like a foundation. And then yeah, I started getting into live streaming after building up like a small little following on YouTube, and we've been at it ever since.
Were you posting YouTube videos, or what was the YouTube
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah. YouTube stuff was just like live commentaries where it's like me playing and I'm talking about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, like kind of explaining every single decision that I was doing. At the time I was doing 1v1s. So it was kind of this thing that nobody was ever doing, or no one was ever showcasing. So yeah, I would just talk about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and people kind of loved it.
And congratulations on all your success. Did you hit
Thank you.
100K? Is
Yes,
that a thing?
on
Yes.
Twitch,
I remember
yes.
you were trying to grind that so hard. I remember it was
It
crazy.
was like right at the end, man. It's
Mhm.
takes so long.
Okay, Proxy, I wanted to ask you what got you into your passion for streaming and gaming.
Well, basically, I've been playing games since like I was a little kid. I was always like introduced to consoles and like whatever gaming platforms there were. But then after my best friend in like elementary school, she moved away, and then like everyone had already found like their own groups and everything, so I had like a hard time kind of fitting in with anyone else because like I already had my best friend, but she moved like to the other side of the country basically. So I ended up spending like a lot of my spare time just in front of the PC, and then that ended up like taking over, and I was just like spending all day every day in front of the PC and playing World of Warcraft or League of Legends or whatever. And then finally when I was 16, like I had like a lot of kind of like internet friends that I met through just like Facebook groups and stuff that I was playing League with, and then they told me to like try out streaming because they thought it was really fun to play with me, and then I did, and I just kept on streaming since that day, I guess.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Chesney, what got you into your passion for, I guess, just gaming and like art, since you're pretty much, I know that I've seen you like recently do a video of like, how would I describe it? You posted a video on Twitter recently that you did. Could you explain it a little bit? And then, sorry, I was kind of distracted from the question, but I just saw some video recently that you did.
Yeah, so that was actually my senior thesis I did. I have a degree in motion design, which is kind of like graphic design and animation had a little baby. So that was my senior thesis, and it was basically about my childhood. And I grew up in kind of like a neighborhood of boys. So back then we would all just play video games and like trade Pokemon cards and stuff. I don't know, and that kind of like started my whole love of everything video games. And like I actually just got these tattoos. I don't know if you could see them. They're the 3 spiritual stones from Ocarina of Time, which was my all-time favorite game and kind of what I grew up playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I graduated college, I actually worked at BuzzFeed as an illustrator and an animator. And then through that, got introduced to the esports scene. And that's how I found like League of Legends and this whole industry. And then I eventually started working at Riot. So everything kind of came full circle, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
How long
Yeah.
did you work at BuzzFeed for?
I think almost 2 years, and that was in New York. So 2 years ago, I moved from New York to LA. So big difference.
Were you raised in New York?
No, I was actually born in Jersey and then raised in Florida. So I'm like super crazy.
So you're
yeah.
new to the West Coast, sort of.
Yes.
Not really. You've been here for a while, but still.
Yeah,
Cool.
still very new.
Okay.
I'm in the wrong place. I'm in Virginia. I'm on the opposite end.
Virginia?
I need to go to LA. That's where everybody's at right now.
That's very true.
What made you choose your current profession, Winston, to pursue it?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I've always loved gaming, and
Mhm.
I've always like followed the esports scene since the early StarCraft days.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just being able to tell stories behind lenses and telling players stories is really cool, because back then it was a pretty it wasn't a significant part of the industry back then, and now it's just everywhere these days.
Mhm.
And I think it was just really cool, just interviewing players, knowing who they were besides playing online or just on LAN and things like that, and getting to know who they were was like a really key point on making me want to do this and pursue this, and just being friends with them overall. And I think just making
sorry.
sorry.
Sorry, no, sorry.
no.
I didn't know if you were done or not. Go ahead.
Oh no, and just making content was just a big passion of mine, and it was just really fun to do. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw the video of, it hasn't been posted yet, but I saw the video that we did at Garden Grove, and it was really,
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. Yeah. I'm really excited to see how it turns out.
Actually, just that wasn't me that edited that. That was someone else.
Oh, but the video
Oh yeah,
work.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the video
That's
work
good.
in it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tanner, I was gonna ask you, what chose you to pursue just streaming full time? And yeah.
So before streaming, I was actually working like right out of high school. I went to I was at Chick-fil-A, believe it or not. Everybody loves Chick-fil-A. Everybody's like, that's why you're so nice. And I'm just like, oh my God. But
I had no idea.
yeah, but I used to work at Chick-fil-A, and I made it up to God, what was the term? It's been so long, I even forgot the term. It's like above a manager, so like I could open, close, like break everything down, put everything back together. And I got to the point where I was streaming on the side, like after my long days of working at Chick-fil-A. I was like, I think I'm just gonna do it. I kind of like saved up like some money from Chick-fil-A, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna attack it. I'm just gonna go for it and see where it goes. And here we are. I do not miss Chick-fil-A at all. Some of the customers, but
At Chick-fil-A?
yes.
They're
Really?
just there for the chicken sandwich and they leave. How could they?
No, oh my God.
Where's my chicken sandwich?
I gotta tell you some stories, man. People would
Yeah.
like literally they would go and eat like an entire meal and save like one fry and be like, oh yeah, fell on the floor or something, can I get a full meal? And I'm just like,
What?
That is the most
Yeah.
American thing I've heard, actually.
yeah, thank you.
True.
Like some of the stories that I could tell you right now, and it's like, how it's Chick-fil-A, like the customer's always right, you always have to say my pleasure after everything. Yeah, it was
funny.
to look somebody dead in their eye and be like, sorry, I can't help you right now. But yeah. So then
Meanwhile,
yeah, moving
to
in.
you. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean that's just, I guess, like sums up the whole working at Chick-fil-A. And then I just kind of, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. So here we are.
From Chick-fil-A to full-time streamer
Hey.
to Twitch
Yep.
rival. Have you ever won Twitch rivals before?
One?
Or got
No,
one?
I've gotten second before
place,
though.
yo, same. So from Chick-fil-A to second place in Twitch rivals.
Let's go. We out here.
I was reading the chat. Someone said, "Meanwhile in EU." Yeah, Proxy.
Yeah, so like
yeah.
in EU, like I feel like it's such an American thing where like customer is always right. I mean, like of course it's like that in EU too, but like if you actually do that, like if you eat like an entire meal and then a fry drops on the floor and you come back and then you're like, hey, there's something wrong with my fries, can I get a new one? Everyone's like, are you fucking stupid? Like if you find like hair in your food or like a piece of glass like in your food, like the guy making the food is like, oh sorry, like I'll
Piece
just
of
take
glass.
that out. Like sorry for the inconvenience, I guess. Like
Oh my goodness. Proxy, what got you to choose streaming and being a part of Misfits and just like content creating in general to pursue your career? Yeah, what got you into that full time?
well, so first I was just doing it on the side while I was having a full-time job. So I used to work at a company called LOL Sumo, it was called Dojo Madness, and they had like LOL Sumo, Dota Sumo, and like other like coaching mobile apps. So I was working with influencer management, which was actually pretty horrible to work with other influencers, not gonna lie. But at some point, like they started to work on a new product and I didn't need like the marketing as much, so they offered me a freelance position, which I said no to because it wasn't certain that I would be able to pay my rent with it. So I said no to that, and then immediately after I said no to that, like Misfits like came into my stream and I was kind of upset because I didn't know like how I was gonna pay my rent. And then they just came into my stream and then they were like, yo, you want to be a part of Misfits? Like the owner of Misfits just came into my chat and was like, yo, check your DMs. And then I checked my DMs and he was like, hey, you want to join Misfits? And I'm like, hell yeah. So they gave me like enough financial income to pay my rent, and then I've just stick with them ever since. And they're like such a great organization. Like they treat me so well and so fun to be a part of their organization, honestly.
Did you know anyone from Misfits previously to joining?
Yeah, because I lived in Berlin at the time, so I was still like that's where their EU office are. So I was just like hanging out with like some of their staff, some of their players, like in my spare time together with like other organization, and like their staff kind of like liked me pretty fast and they saw that I had potential like when it comes to content creation and stuff, so that's why they decided to pick me up.
Nice. And hello, Chesney. What made you want to choose your profession at Riot?
I think it was less of choosing and more of just being super invested in video games and I don't know, I'm very passionate about the whole industry. So actually when I found the job listing, it was for a completely different title. I think it was a YouTube influencer manager, and I just saw the post on Twitter, and this was before I even used Twitter. When I started like going to events and stuff, everyone was like, "Oh, you need to get a Twitter. Like esports, that's the only thing they use." And I was just like, I don't know what Twitter is. I don't understand. And then one day I found the job posting and I applied for it. And during the interview process, we actually just like pivoted, where they like came back to me with a different position, asking if I wanted to take the role of like an art director instead, which is perfect because I have a background in illustration and animation. So yeah, it kind of like, it was less of me like trying to find the role, more of it kind of coming to me, which I think is really cool.
That's fancy. Okay, I wanted to ask you guys individually if you work with other people or have a team behind you, and if so, what do they do? And Winston, I guess we can start with you. What did so
I work with a I work with a team, with the creative and marketing team. I work pretty closely with them. So we have Matt and Christina, that's on socials. They do a really good job. They make my life really easy too. And I've got Jess, who's the art director, that she does graphics and all those other things. And we've got Gina, who's like, she's really insane at what she does. And I think everyone there is really nice. I've been with them for a month now, and I've been like pretty chill with them. Like I've just been my own self, and I haven't really felt awkward with them at all. Oh, and we got Amanda. I'm so sorry, Amanda. She's actually the content creators manager. I don't know if that's the right role, but I'm so sorry. But she's cool. She's really nice too. But everyone there is they're all just pretty chill, and it's just making just my move here really nice, and I haven't felt awkward with them one bit. And if I need anything, they're always there to facilitate for me, and yeah, it's really nice.
And I know, so I guess since Tanner, Proxy, and I know like you stream sometimes too, Chesney, yeah?
I used to stream a lot. I don't stream anymore though.
So I know that Tanner and Proxy, since we're all kind of like in the same, doing the same thing, do you guys have like other people that you work with or like a team behind you? And if so, tell us a little bit about him.
I'm sorry, you can go first if you want.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I have like my agent who is called Mats, who does like a lot of sponsorship stuff with me that's like outside of like the Misfit sponsorships. So he gets me like individual partnerships with like different brands that are not like in conflict with Misfit sponsors. And then of course I work with like the Misfit staff, like in particular like the president of Misfits called Moose, and the president of like content and marketing called Ella. And when I used to live in Berlin, they were also in Berlin, so we were just like doing shoots all the time, and they were helping me. Like we made like a small little documentary about like my streaming career and stuff, and they've just been helping me like a lot, like content wise, and helping me with everything else, like getting to the US and all of that.
What about you, Tanner? What's like your team behind you?
I'm sure there's a lot of so I haven't been with TSM for too long. I did get to meet some of them at TwitchCon, but I don't know the whole like, videography team. Obviously they have a phenomenal team. But basically the guy who manages me, Cooper, he basically looks after, any kind of brand deals, any kind of sponsorships, whatever. And Mike also is a big help. Shout out to those guys if they ever watch this. They're amazing. But I think Cooper works with Logitech. If I need any, say, I need a new mouse or something, they're always taking great care of me. They're hooking me up with like keyboards, mouse, whatever I need to stay at the top of my game. But yeah, Cooper and Mike basically are the guys that are taking good care of me.
And as an art director, Chesney, what does your team look like and what do they do?
Let's see. We have like a small team. I'm not gonna talk about like everybody's name and stuff just because I don't know. I'm like spooked about talking about people. But so basically our team just works on doing marketing for North America. like events and different kinds of things like that. The last thing I worked on was actually with the Microsoft Store, the project we did. So I don't know if everybody knows, but I made Camille and Brahm into life-size statues that live at the Microsoft Store on Fifth Ave in New York City. So I kind of just like, we all work together to create experiences where players can experience League of Legends, but in real life, if that makes sense.
That's really cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, seeing them in real life was probably like, I got like chills. I was like, oh my god, it's Camille.
They're
It's so
giant.
cool. And they're still there.
Yeah. They're semi-permanent, so yeah.
Yeah, the opening was freaking crazy. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
What is it like? So my next question I have for all of you is, what is like prepping for your everyday life? And we can go back to you, Chesney, with that question.
I mean, I like wake up and I drink some coffee. Yeah, I don't know. I just get to the office and go over emails and stuff. I don't know. I feel like mine's the most boring question or like boring answer out of all of them, because I just like wake up and go sit at a desk for like 10 hours a day.
But I mean, to work on a project like the Brahm and Camille statue on Fifth Ave, like that must have been sort of a different process.
Yeah, I mean, that specific project took over a year to do from start to finish, which is pretty crazy. But it depends like kind of what projects are on. But a lot of projects we work on span over a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout the day, it's almost like we go around and we touch back on different projects to kind of make sure everyone's looped in and everything is moving forward. So instead of necessarily working on one thing for like 10 hours a day, it's like working on 5 different things for multiple hours a day.
What are some of your favorite projects that you've worked on at Riot so far?
I think my favorite, which is my first project, was the WWE Tyler One I'm a Cutie Pie extravaganza, I call it. That was my first project. I literally like walked in the door and we're like, hey, we're gonna work with WWE on something. Come up with the show. I'm like, okay. But it was just really fun because it was the first time I got to work with influencers and create something, I don't know, really ridiculous and fun.
Yeah, that show was hilarious.
I just laugh. Like, honestly, like, I love it, but I just laugh because it's so ridiculous. I don't know.
Proxy, what's it like for your like daily life? Like, what is it for your prep?
I mean, I wake up, have my Red Bull, start my stream until all my viewers go to bed, then I end my stream, and then I play more League of Legends, just not on stream. Like it's literally that every day. So yep, that's it.
Something similar for you, Tanner?
So for like right now, I just moved into this apartment, and it's like on the bottom floor, so kind of in like a new area. So I'm not really expanding, like going out a whole lot. I'm kind of just still kind of settling in now, but like waking up, I kid you not, I wake up, shower every day, and then stream, and that's it. Wake up, shower, stream, that's it. Like, I mean, with the whole, you know, of course, like the worst timing right now too, with the whole Corona thing, like don't go out, try to just, you know, stay inside. So right now my schedule is literally just waking up, you know, showering, and then streaming. Basically it right now.
What about you, Winston? What's a little bit about your everyday life prep?
I think mine's pretty mundane and boring too, like most people. But you know, wake up, cook breakfast or something, go to the office, and just work like on video content, have some meetings, emails, and whatnot. And I think the funnest bit about my day is just messing around with the employees every now and then, with the people that I work with, because the office space is just really relaxed and really nice. So we just troll a bit, but we get a lot of work done, and then go home and maybe play games or do work or whatever it is, and repeat for like 7 days a week. So yeah, it's like that.
Someone in Twitch chat said office pog. Yeah, GenG office. Very, very cool. All All right, so the next question that I have is about programs. So basically, what is like the #1 program when it comes to what you do? Like, for example, I use OBS every day, which allows me to like broadcast which right now. So Chesney, what do you do, or what program do you use?
Probably Photoshop. I do a lot of like paintovers and art direction on it. I don't know what to call it. But we work with a lot of community artists and artists in general to create work. So sometimes when we have illustrations come in, instead of me like typing and explaining what to change, I kind of go over and paint over it myself. So Photoshop is probably my most used program.
And Tanner, what do you use mostly?
So I don't really have a different answer. I'm just OBS as well. I have this like Stream Elements, it's OBS Live, really awesome. It comes like with your chat, the the programs of who follows, subs, donates, whatever. That's obviously extremely helpful. If I didn't have OBS or that, I would be lost. So yeah.
Do you use Proxy? Or Proxy, do you use OBS as well?
Yeah, or I used to Streamlabs OBS.
Streamlabs OBS. And what about you, Winston? What do you use mostly?
I use Adobe Premiere or After Effects for like my day-to-day video editing, stuff like that. But I'm moving to DaVinci Resolve, which is just a kind of a better program for video editing and color correction. It's it's just my everyday life. It's what I see in the morning and at night.
Dang, so we got Photoshop, OBS, different kinds of OBSs, and we got
a lot of editing stuff.
Yeah, a lot of different editing
just a lot of editing
stuff. Cool. Okay, so next question that I have is about gaming events. And if you guys have ever been to gaming events, what is your favorite one? And we'll come to Tanner. What's your favorite gaming event?
So it had to be last year, I guess, 2019. It was my second ever TwitchCon, but San Diego was amazing. Food there, the venue, the place that I was staying at was like walking distance, so I didn't have to worry about Ubers, Lyfts, or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, San Diego TwitchCon 2019 is probably like my favorite event so far.
You're ready to come eventually, yes?
Yes, hopefully if this whole Corona thing sorts itself out.
What about you, Proxy? What was the favorite or your most favorite gaming event?
Oof. I mean, there's a lot to choose from, but I think definitely like all of the TwitchCons I've been to. Like I've been to the one in San Francisco, and I was to the one that was in like south of LA.
Long Beach?
Like a couple
or
of years.
San Diego?
Yeah, Long Beach. Yeah. And also the one that was in EU. Like I think it's really fun to go to TwitchCon because you get to meet so many like streamers and also like viewers and stuff that are always there. And also like when I was at TwitchCon in Berlin, I also played Twitch Rivals on stage, which was really nerve-wracking, but also super, super fun, especially since we won against NA as EU. So yeah, I'm just throwing that in there.
You better than NA. Chesney, what is your favorite gaming event that you've been to?
Probably Worlds in Korea. I think that was like, what, 2 years ago?
Wow.
Actually, after I graduated college, I moved to South Korea for a couple years. So it was kind of like going back home. And it was just really, it was huge. It was exciting. There were so many people there. And it was my first time being to like a Worlds event. And I was just like blown away with just how many people were there. I don't know. It was crazy to me. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I remember getting chills at the Paris finals last year. It's so crazy to see on such a large scale. Have you been to Worlds, Proxy?
I mean, yeah, I was in Paris.
And
also, I went to like all of the group stages, or like all of the stages before the finals as well. So I was in Madrid and in Berlin and in Paris, and before that I was also like in 2015 or whenever it was, when it was World Finals in Berlin as well.
Chat, I don't remember. I didn't see her there, but I know she was there because we hung out before we went to the actual Worlds event. It took a second. And what about you? Are there a lot of like gaming events in Oceanic region?
Well, we had Rift Rivals. I think that was like the most notable one back in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I was working with one of the teams I was competing as part of OCE, and we won that year. So that was the first year that OS actually won an international tournament, I guess, if you want to consider that. But I think that was a pretty big win because everyone was really hyped up, and I got my first trophy shot, so that was pretty cool.
Is that your favorite one?
Well, I wanted to say DreamHack because our CS:GO team did win,
Mhm.
but I feel like that's just too much GenG,
Favoritism.
yeah. So I'm just gonna call it back. But yeah.
Okay, and then my next question is along the topic of like challenges that you guys have had in your career. So Tanner, let's start with you. What is one of the hardest challenges you faced starting out as a streamer?
I think definitely getting back to the story that I was talking about earlier when I broke my arm. That was like really hard because I was thinking, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna keep playing baseball? Am I gonna, am I even gonna play video games? Like I thinking about like the future, with like my whole injury and everything. I didn't know what I was gonna do. Obviously, like having people write my notes for me and stuff like that in school, which was pretty freaking cool. But I think moving recently too. Moving's been really hard. I think it's definitely up there. Like with a dual PC setup and all these wires and keyboards and stuff has been tough. Like having bad internet, which is why I moved to get like an internet upgrade. Yeah, trying to keep all the wires and everything functional and working again was a challenge for sure.
Are you all finished moving in?
So I have like furniture and stuff here. I guess like small details, which can little piece here and there, like every Sunday or whatever when I have my day off. But yeah, I mean, I got my bed in, couch, all that stuff. Bathroom's all taken care of, so we're getting there.
Chesney, I wanted to ask you, what were some of the hardest challenges that you faced starting out at, like, you could say either BuzzFeed or Riot?
I'll say Riot because I know most people would probably want to hear that answer. I think the hardest thing for me, and it's still the hardest thing, is even though I am a player, so like I do play League of Legends, I do play a bunch of video games, a lot of times like I kind of have to step out of that role when I'm creating things because I have to try and not get too invested like personally. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of hard because like even though I as a player might not like something, or like I as a player want this to happen, it's not always the best for all of the players. So I have to think of it, I don't know, it's like hard to remove yourself for doing things for like the majority of people rather than doing it for just myself. I don't know, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest part, and it's still really hard. I mean, it's great when there are things that come out that I'm really excited about, because then I'm like, yay, like I want to play, I don't know, like I want to play this skin, I want to play this champ, but it's the hardest to kind of like ground myself and remember to make things for the masses that the majority of people enjoy instead of just selfishly for myself.
Winston, what was like some of the hardest challenges you faced starting out as working with teams as a videographer?
I started 2 years ago in 2018, and I was still in university. So balancing full-time uni, which is like a film course, and with esports work is pretty tough because I was mainly like the director and producers of most of my film projects. So balancing those things was pretty tough, and I didn't have any interns or just have anyone to kind of help me. I did have some of my friends from uni to like kind of be the second cameraman every now and then, but everything else is mainly like just me kind of just going out there filming on the weekends and just doing work. So I didn't really have time for family when I started that out, and I couldn't really balance it back then to kind of like prioritize family time too, which I managed to fix in 2019, which was really good. But that was one of the biggest struggles, just not having enough time for family back then and just being swamped with work. And I guess that's what most people struggle with in like our industry.
Proxy, in streaming, what are some of the, actually you can say either of the jobs that you had as working with influencers with like apps or anything like that, and then as streaming as well, what are like some of the challenges that you faced?
well, to start out when I was streaming, like because I was like really introverted and didn't really have that many friends. Like it was hard for me when I first started streaming to like deal with all like the, I guess, just like negative comments and like people just trolling but taking it like a bit too far. And also like, I don't know, like I've had like a lot of creepy incidents with like some stalker stuff and people sending like weird stuff in the mail and also getting like threats and all of that. Like that was really overwhelming when I first started. Like now I'm a lot better at dealing with it, but in the start it was for sure pretty scary. And also right now, like I'm having some issues like converting my viewers into like a different time zone, because in EU I would used to like stream somewhat during the day, but the day in EU here is like nighttime here. So I'm having kind of like a hard time. Like I wake up and I stream and it's like already evening in EU. So I'm having a hard time like right now to kind of convert my viewers into watching me at different times, and also trying to get some like NA people to watch. But it's really like, it's pretty challenging to reach a market that like I don't have, you know?
Yeah, I think Twitch Rivals will be good when it happens again. Open to everybody, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the next one is a little bit more on the positive side, and but still like, you know, about all what we do, and it's how has what you do positively affect your life? And we can start with you, Chesney.
I don't know. I think it's just kind of like, I'm so passionate about video games and the community. So the fact that my job is fueling that passion, it's honestly like my dream come true. Like it really is my dream job. And I know that people like use that word lightly, but I'm just so happy with this community and the industry and everything that we're doing. So it's almost like my job has made the rest of my life significantly better just because of the people I meet. I mean, especially you, and everything that I'm doing kind of stems from it. So I don't know. I'm super happy.
I'm happy for you. Winston, how has doing what you do positively affected your life?
Well, it's definitely brought me to my dream job, and which is in LA, and it's working for my favorite organization, GenG. So that was pretty much the goal. But I think I've been doing what you love doing. It doesn't feel like a job to me. It's you wake up and you just kind of have fun doing it. But there are some times where like I feel frustrated when I'm doing my job because there's certain things that I can't do. But other than that, it's been just really good, and I've been connecting with a lot of different people online and offline, meeting new people too, and going to gaming events was not something that I did often back in Australia, and that was really cool to see, and just attend DreamHack and other future events in NA.
What do you
Hopefully-
mean? What do you mean by doing things you cannot do?
Oh, like for work?
Yeah.
There's just like things that I'm limited to. Like there are ideas in my head that I want to do, but I can't execute them because I'm missing something, or I need to spend like a week or two to like learn this specific program and learn this new technique.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, just one of like those frustrating things that you can do it in the end, but it's just time consuming.
Mm-hmm. That
Yep,
makes sense.
And that's it. Yep.
Tanner, how has streaming and content creating and being part of TSM and doing what you do and being you positively affected your life?
I love making people happy. When I make other people happier, if I can make someone smile or laugh, dude, that is like priceless. That's like the main goal. That's what like fuels me to keep me going. I'm that guy where if, you know, say we go out to eat somewhere and I'm like, say I have like toilet paper stuck to my foot or something, and everyone turns around and they all start pointing and laughing at me. Like, as long as I'll be in that spotlight, as long as, you know, I'm surrounded by friends and I'm making people happy, that is the main goal for me. But yeah, I mean, like I never thought that I would be in a million years would be a part of TSM ever. But yeah, like Winston was saying, that, you know, once you are doing something that you love, I mean, I lose track of time. Sometimes like I'll even forget to eat. I'll be playing for like an hour and like 7 hours go by and I'm just like, how does this happen? But yeah, just making others happy really has made me like a happier person. And then, you know, it just spreads and spreads and spreads. Like sometimes people are having a bad day and they need like say a pick me up or like a call or say to talk about something that say like a trip planned or so yeah, just making others happy has really kind of like boosted me up.
And with you, Proxy, how has like streaming positively affected your life?
Well, I would agree with what Tanner says. Like, when I started streaming, like I was obviously like kind of not in a very happy place, and like streaming literally changed my life. Like I got like, regardless of the negative comments, like I got so much like overwhelming positive feedback, and it made me really happy to stream, and it still really does, which is like what fuels me. Like I don't really care about like money or viewers or anything. Like I just want to make other people happy because I feel like streaming made me so happy, and I just really want to like share that feeling. Like if my stream can help like to make one person's day better, like it's just so worth it. And that's like, yeah, my goal basically with streaming.
And as for highlights, what are some highlights that you've accomplished like during your time in esports, Proxy?
Well, definitely winning against NA and Twitch rivals. Just gonna bring that up for last time. But also like I'm really proud like of where I have gotten. Like, first of all, like moving to Berlin like when I was 19, and then now like moving to LA and working with Misfits like really closely, like being able to do streaming full time and actually really enjoying what I'm doing. And like streaming doesn't feel like a job to me. Like my job is not a job, it's just something that I really am like super passionate about, and it just feels like so great to finally really be happy with like everything in my life, like both like personal and like career wise, and just everything is really great right now, and I'm really like proud of myself to like pull that through, I guess.
Yeah, they're really big moves. I remember you saying it when we were getting dumplings. It's a lot of good stuff. Chesney, what are some highlights you've accomplished during your career? I know we talked about a couple of them already, but yeah, what would you say is like your highlight?
I think my highlight was probably the Camille and Braum statue, just because it's the first product I did solely myself, where we worked, like Microsoft and I worked directly together with a company to like create them from scratch. So like everything from picking out the Pantone colors to like making sure the finishes look right on each piece of armor. It was really detailed, and I feel like it took every aspect or like every skill I've learned until then and like created this project that represented kind of how far I've come. So that's probably my highlight.
Tanner, what about you? What's your biggest highlight in your career so far?
So I think, I tell people not to think too much about the numbers when they get into streaming and doing YouTube and stuff like that. Like you really have to love what you do. But one thing or one goal that I am super proud and happy about is the 100K on Twitch. It took me so long to do. Never in a million years would I even think that number was even possible. So to actually see that, I was just sitting there like looking at the number, like tears watered. Like how am I here? How am I so lucky? So yeah, probably 100K on Twitch.
And Winston, what has been one of your highlights that you've accomplished so far?
I think it was like 3 weeks ago during DreamHack Anaheim. I was chasing a trophy shot for like since I started 2 years ago, and seeing the GenG team lift out that trophy was really cool. And I was struggling to like hold my camera still because I just wanted to kind of join in with them and celebrate, but like my role is like I can't do that, so it was really cool. And I got like other highlights, like meeting new people, making long life friends online, and things like that. And yeah, it's just been a really good like highlight of my life. And I'm in LA now. It's the dream. I haven't really explored much because I've just been in the office for like 99% of my life here. And with this lockdown happening, it's really rough. But hopefully I can explore some stuff after the lockdown is gone.
My next question is kind of why I wanted to do this podcast in particular, and it's about like tips for people that are looking to get into the industry. Because I mean, like when I selected you guys, I picked like 2 really good, like friendly, nice, awesome streamers, like a videographer when I worked with you for the podcast, or not podcast, but when I worked with you for like the Garden Grove event, and then Chesney when I talked to you at like, I mean, just on a day-to-day whenever we talk, and then seeing you in New York. So yeah, so it's basically like tips in general that people have, like for, I guess, for your specific thing that you guys do, and just people that are looking to get into the esports industry. So Tanner, let's start off with you. What are some tips that you have for, I guess, since you content creators, and yeah.
So I actually love this question because I answer it like pretty frequently. So I feel like I have my answer down packed. But I think streaming something or whatever content that you do, make sure that you love it. Because obviously you lose track of time, but also it doesn't really feel like work. Or so love what you do. Consistency is key. Consistency is everything. Consistently staying with something, you know, setting up a plan, setting up something in motion is always good. But for me, I always try to, whenever someone comes into the chat, I always try to have a unique interaction. You know, I don't want to be like, "What's up, Jayden? hey, how's it going?" You know what I mean? Like, I want to bring like a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and I want to make it fun. So I think that's probably my last tip. Yeah.
And Proxy, what are some of your tips, since we're gonna like keep it flowing with the content creators?
Well, for streaming, I guess it's like a lot of the same. Like, don't really focus on the number, just like keep grinding, be consistent, and like don't care about like people trying to fish out like negative reactions from you, like trolls in the chat and stuff. Just like literally just ban it or ignore it, or like, I don't know, make a joke out of it, because it's really not worth your time. But also I want to give like a tip of like the esport industry, because like to get where I am today, like it wouldn't have happened without like the network I've gotten. And I also wouldn't have gotten like my influencer management job without getting that network. And like when I started streaming, like immediately, like I just spent like all my savings on going to like literally every event I could, talk to like every person I could, and just go to like everything, even though it was so exhausting to like travel like across the world to go to like some event where I didn't even know anyone, and I maybe only managed to like end up talking to like one new person. Like that one person could like it really helps you. And also like interacting with people through like social media, especially like being active on Twitter, like replying to people's Twitter, asking like questions, asking for tips, asking for advice, just like anything. Just try to get as much as possible out from like anyone. Just absorb like every information you can and get like every connection you can, because it might help you later.
I feel like in a lot of like what we do, it's like who you know sometimes, like almost like 90% of the time it can be. Chesney, what are some tips that you have for people looking, like even as a basic question as like, hey, I want to work at Riot, like yeah.
Oh, trust me, I'm like prepared to answer this question, because I get this all the time, like in my DMs in chat when I used to stream. But I think like, well, before the tip side of things, like wanting to work at Riot because it's Riot isn't a good reason to want to work at Riot. And just because like it's your favorite game, or it's really cool, or you think you know how to balance a champion, or you think of a really cool idea, like that, it also takes like a lot of skill and you know, experience. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Oh, also, we have thousands of employees. Like, we all don't make champs. We all don't make skins. We don't work on the balance team. But like a positive thing of that is that we have so many different jobs available. Like, it's not just making skins. It's not just balancing the game. There are literally like thousands of employees, and like hundreds of them don't work on those teams. So like if you have a passion, like if you have something that's related to the industry in any way, like don't think that just because you can't do those things, you can't work at Riot. And I think my second biggest tip, especially for like any job, is to follow up. I've talked to so many people who like send in a resume, or they do one interview and then they they just kind of like wait and they sit and they wait. They're like, well, I didn't hear anything back, so I didn't get it. But what people don't realize is that life is crazy, especially like recruiters. Like they're juggling so many different roles. So like, I don't know, just follow up, send another email, like see if you can hop on another call. Like don't give up just because you didn't hear anything back the first time. Like, I don't know, keep on going.
That's some really good advice. Like some
Thanks.
bomb advice. Winston, with what you do you have any tips for people that are looking to get into like videography with like esports, or like how is it that one would go from just like, I guess, filming videos and editing them to like working with an actual organization?
Well, I started actually making YouTube highlights for like Samsung Galaxy and KSV as like a fun thing to do as a fan back then. And then I think one of the biggest tips that I could give is that you need to know what you're doing and you need to love what you do. In a sense that I know a lot of freelancers back in OS, back home, that they were just given a brief and they do the job, but they have like kind of no idea on what the thing is. They just do the work and just get the cash, get the paycheck, and then they leave. But I think the biggest flaw in that is that if you truly love what you do and you know what you're doing, it makes the experience and the content like 100 times better. It makes the overall video a lot better and makes the fans happy, it makes the organizations happier. And I think I got this job with GenG. Honestly, I think it's because I've been a big fan of them for a long time too. And I think like what Proxy said, networking is a very big part in esports. And I talked a lot with a lot of the GenG employees every now and then, way back then in like 2018, 2019. And I think networking is really crucial. Even back in Australia, you know someone and you need something else, like your friend can get it for you, your mate can get it for you really easily. So it's really cool. But networking and doing what you love, knowing what you're doing and making sure you love doing that is probably my 3 tips. And I hope that wasn't too general.
No, it's good. I was gonna say that like the networking thing that Proxy and you guys were talking about earlier is super important, because it's just like something like for me, it's like I have all of these opportunities that companies reach out to me, and then they also say, would you like to add another partner, or like do you have anybody else that would like to come to this event? So it's like I'm looking for like people that I could possibly like work with together to like, let's go to a different country and like do something, or let's go to a different state and film something. So networking is definitely key. Okay, so this question, I mean, since we're kind of having to deal with the coronavirus, unfortunately, right now, and I'd ask you guys, like, what do you do outside of work? So I guess previous to what we have going on right now, outside of work, Chesney, what do you do?
I eat a lot of food. That's like, I know it's like laughing, but the reason why I live is to eat food. I'm very passionate about it. So I just like to try like restaurants and go experience. And LA is so good for food. Coming from, well, I was in Korea and then New York and then LA. I think my favorite food city is probably LA, because I feel like there's a lot of authenticity here. So yeah, I don't know. I get home from work and then I go out to eat, and then I do the same thing the next day. So that's what I do outside of work.
That's cool.
Tanner, what do you do outside of streaming?
So like you said, with the whole like Corona thing and me moving, which has been different, but just like staying in shape, taking care of my body for like like longevity. I mean, the whole stereotype of gamers sitting online for like 12 hours a day, sitting down, just 7 Mountain Dews and all Doritos, and I think just taking care of my body, I think is really important, but also, so I'm trying to think of what else here since moving, just the gym, and yes, we love food around here. I do love trying new foods.
You haven't had udon?
No, I haven't. There's so much that I need to try.
Sushi? Not a California roll?
I don't think so. No, I was telling you that story with the wasabi. That when I had wasabi, I was like, nope, not anymore, nope. So
yeah.
yeah, there's a lot that I have to try.
Proxy, what do you do outside of streaming?
Outside of streaming, I continue playing video games throughout the day mostly. But I also play different instruments, like I play guitar and ukulele and piano. And then I also swim sometimes. We have like in the apartment complex I live in, we have like a pool.
Wait,
So I just go
really?
there.
You swam in that
swim.
pool?
Yeah.
I'm down to come over and swim whenever the quarantine's over. What
Yeah,
the heck?
swim.
I haven't gone swimming in so long. Okay. Cool. Winston, what do you do outside of work? And let's go all the way back to when you lived in the Oceanic, because I know you just moved here recently and it's been really
Oh,
yeah.
well, I didn't really have much as a social life back home in Oos, because just working and uni was really tough. But it was like the same thing, you know, just like play online with mates, and then just catch up with them, catch up with family members across the world. But now that I moved here, I've just been building furniture and just cooking for fun. I hope to change my social life when I'm in LA, because it seems like a beautiful place to just kind of explore and you know, just explore with your mates and stuff like that. But nowadays I just catch up with family because the time zone is really rough, and I just play games with friends online and talk to just online friends.
I saw you
pretty
cook
much it.
something recently. Did you post it? I'm pretty sure I saw
Yeah.
you post it. What was it?
It was like a 2-spice marinade pork belly with teriyaki fried rice.
Yeah, it looked
So-
really
Oh!
good.
That sounds really
Yeah,
good.
it looked really
It was-
good.
yeah. But my cooking method isn't like off the book. I just kind of put in whatever spice I think smells good or tastes good, and like it ends up being good. So like, you know what? It's a win in my books, and I obviously love eating too. So
The next topic or question that I have for you guys is revolving around relationships and friendships. Have you guys ever met anybody that turned from an online friendship to an IRL friendship? And how did you meet this person? And let's start with Tanner.
Friendships, it's, you know, it's tough because, you know, you play with and talk with all these people almost like every day. So like when you go to an event, it's not, you know, you're not super shy, you're not super awkward, everything just kind of feels normal. Relationships have been kind of tough for me personally. Like growing up, I've had a lot of people, especially throughout like high school. Like I've had like girls like not support the gaming thing, so that has been difficult. But yeah, with friendships, I'm trying to think of any kind of like examples. I don't know if I could use like you Jayden, or say like Vis or Crafty, because I play with those guys pretty regularly.
Mhm.
So like when I met them for the very first time, it was like season 2 launch of Apex. When I saw those guys in person, it was like, you know, I've known them for 8 years or something. So I think having that kind of like friendship online correlates to real life too, you know, like IRL.
Mhm. And what about you, Proxy? Have most of your friendships online turned into IRL ones?
I mean, all of my like best friends now are people that I've met like either like through my own stream or like through something that has something to do with esports. Like we met like through esports events or something. So yeah, that's literally all my best friends are like people that I met through gaming. And also like my boyfriend, of course, like he plays games quite a lot. So yeah, we just met because we were both living in Berlin because he was playing there in LEC, and yeah, we just started hanging out after I moved there, and then yeah, now we've been living together for 2 years. I don't know.
There's a little bit of correlation with Tanner with TSM and your boyfriend, because your boyfriend's on TSM too.
Yeah, so he like that's why we moved to LA, because he got the offer from TSM. So
Yeah, cool. Tanner, he's the ADC for TSM.
Let's go. I play ADC too, but I'm
There he
silver
is, fucker.
2, I think. We're not gonna talk about my league rank, okay?
Chesney, have any of your friendships online turned into IRL ones, and how did you meet these people, if so?
I was going to talk about us, but I figured we already have, so I'll talk about but when I was in New York, actually, It's funny, Damien Estrada, who is now one of my closest best friends,
Ooh.
he reached out to me and he was interested in my like animation style because I do a lot of like 2D kind of liquid animation.
Mhm.
And he was interested in working together for some liquid content. And it was before I even began at Riot, moved to LA, and we kind of kept up. And I eventually got the job at Riot, so I had to turn him down. And then I moved to LA, and then once I got here, we had kept up, and he kind of invited me into the friend group. And so now there's like a solid group of maybe like 10 of us. And they are my closest friends in LA right now. So I'm very thankful to him and everyone in that group. So yeah.
Were they the people that you had the building event of the different kinds of Gundams?
No,
group?
those are actually we actually went to Big Bear, the mountains over here, and we stayed there for a weekend, and we all built, which is right here, the Gundam that I built.
Were those a different friend
no,
group?
those are actually my friends of almost a decade now from college.
Okay.
I'm old, so.
And then so you met most of like the friend group. So you said you met him, I guess online first, and then IRL.
Yeah, we met through Twitter, and then once I moved here, we started hanging out in real life, which was cool.
And Winston, what about you? Have any of your online friends turned into IRL ones? And I noticed a lot of people in the Twitch chat are like hyping you up, so a lot of your homies are here.
Actually, yeah. Well, these guys are. I met them 3 years ago on the Fnatic Discord and like just the EU Discord because I lived in Indonesia back then, so the time zone was like really rough, and I just kind of stayed up to watch EU LCS or LEC, and I met these guys, and these guys are like probably my closest friends now, closest online friends, and we talked every day, we shit talk every day, we do a lot of things for fun. But yeah, these guys are really close, and I talk with them on Twitter a lot too. But in terms of like other online friends, I know there's a few in LA that I talk to every now and then, but I've been meaning to kind of like want to connect with them, but it works in the way, and then this lockdown thing, so it's a bit rough. But hopefully one day I'll get the chance to do that, and it'll be pretty cool just seeing them in person. Yeah.
Meet in IRL one day, that'd be sick.
Oh yeah.
I have a question. Why did you join the Fnatic Discord?
Well, I was a Fnatic fan like way back then.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I'm open for anyone in the in LEC, so it's good.
Alright.
There's questions for everybody with you guys' particular professions. Did anyone inspire you to do what you guys do? I'll just let this open to anybody in case you guys want to share.
My first favorite streamer was SibHD. He was the greatest streamer of all time. I loved watching his League of Legends gameplay. He was so fucking funny, and I was just like really obsessed with him when like I first discovered Twitch. I was like permanently watching SibHD, and yeah, then I met him IRL, and he wasn't like, he was kind of a douchebag. So I wish I never met him, but his content was really cool, and it like inspired me to start streaming. So.
I had a similar thing with another streamer. Like I grew up like watching them, and I met them in person, and I'm just like, oh no, why did I meet them in person? It just no, okay. Anyways, yeah. Anyone else? Do you guys have a specific person that inspired you to take on what you do?
I'd probably say there's two people that come to mind. The first one would probably have to be Summit 1G. I think just like who he is as a person and like how he runs his channel. If he thinks like that you're an idiot, he'll tell you live like, yo, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? Like he keeps it real, he keeps it authentic. I think that's good. I think a lot of people could learn from watching him, like how he runs his channel. But also a good friend of mine, Miss Ann Munition. I think how she runs her channel is probably like the most professional streamer that I've seen. You know what I mean? Like just her community is awesome. Everybody's kind of tight knit, but yeah, just like how she presents herself and how she runs her channel is really like motivating and inspiring.
I know you said Damien, but is there anybody else that inspired you, Winston?
Oh, definitely like Max from TSM. Like the TSM's
Ooh,
production team
yeah.
has been really insane, and I think watching TSM Legends and like Rebirth kind of compete side by side, that was really cool. And just being from OS and seeing the big dogs kind of compete in the top content region was really cool. And just I think one of the goals is just to compete. Well, is compete the right word? I guess like being there with them, kind of be in the same region and produce content would be really cool. And I have the opportunity to do that now, so I guess I'll see how it goes. But Damien and Max, and the 100 Thieves production team, like recently they've been popping off. So
Yeah.
yeah, those Bax and Damien though, like the top two for me.
What about you, Chesney?
I think I'm a weird case because I actually didn't really know about the industry until I started working at Riot. So I'm just gonna give a shout out to my mom because
Aw.
ever since I was younger, like playing games wasn't really seen or like accepted, especially since I was a girl. And she, like, ever since I grew up, she's like, yeah, do whatever you want, like I'll support you doing whatever like your hobbies are valid, like you have a passion for games, so yeah, if you want to work in the gaming industry, go for it. So love you, Mom.
That's so cute. I know she she was in here earlier too.
Yeah, she was in here earlier.
She
I saw
typed
her,
something. Yeah.
but
So cute.
yeah, she's awesome.
I should have asked this question a little bit earlier, but I guess I can ask it now. How do you deal with negativity from social media or at work? I think we can all like kind of attest to at least experiencing some. Winston, let's start out with you.
With negativity, let's see. I just kind of like shrug it off. I guess that's too easy for me to say, but like I don't really put a lot of effort into thinking about that because I got a whole lot of work to do. And if I don't finish the work, I get in trouble. So I rather finish work than kind of think about the negativity sort of thing. But that's just pretty much how I cope. I don't really think about it that much. But
Well,
hopefully yeah.
Do you, the kind of negativity that you'd get is like people like commenting on like the videos and stuff?
Oh yeah, it's like I think there are constructive criticism which I take in, but then there are just people there to kind of like demean your content, which is fine. It's their opinion, but I do read those comments every now and then. I kind of like implement it on how I can make the next video better, but that's just pretty much how I cope.
What about you, Tanner? How do you deal with negativity from social media?
Man, it's tough. It eats at me because like I said earlier, I get so much enjoyment for like making people happy, right? Like that's the number one goal, is to make people happy. So you're trying your best, 6 days that, like for me anyways, like I take one day off a week. So 6 days out of the week, I'm trying my best to make people happy, to make people laugh, smile. It's tough. I think listening to like your body and listening to your community, if you're not feeling it that day, or if you're say close to your day off, I think calling it like a shorter day, or just kind of distancing yourself, kind of just taking yourself out of the equation. If something say on social media is say like somebody shoots a tweet at me and they're like, hey, you suck at Apex, I'm just like, okay, just keep scrolling. I just like don't even, I don't know, like if you have people trying to bring you down, I think that says everything about them. So you just got to keep doing you, stick with it. If you keep doing something that you enjoy, and if those people are wasting their time trying to bring others down, then that's on them. That's not on you, So yeah, I just I try not to worry about it. Try not to, focus in on it or give it any attention.
I know it just blows my mind because like every time I come to your stream, like you're super positive, and the fact that like people can even like try to bring you down for like wanting to make other people happy, just like it doesn't make sense. People are people though.
Yeah, that's true.
Proxy, how do you deal with negativity on Twitch, social media in general?
Well, when I first started streaming, I felt like it was really hard to like not respond, because all I wanted to do was kind of like defend myself if they were like you joined this organization because like you fucked someone in the organization or whatever, and I'm just like, this is so fucking triggering because I actually really worked hard to like be where I am.
Yeah.
And it was just so hard for me to like not respond. But I think that's honestly the best response you can give, is just to not respond, because that's all they want. Like, they're just fishing for like a way to make you look stupid or make you angry or make you sad or whatever. So it's just stay strong and just not respond to it, or just try to make it in your favor. Like, if someone comes into my chat and they were like, fucking whore or slut or whatever, like I would be like, I don't know, just trying to make a joke out of it or something, just to make it into like positive content rather than being like offended about it. And at least now it's like a lot easier for me to brush off these comments, because there will always be like people coming into your like Twitch chat and be like, you're so stupid or whatever. Like, okay, I don't care. So best part is just not caring about it, not giving it like the response they want to. And for social media, like the mute tool on Twitter is very convenient.
Yeah.
Just to see like someone is like permanently talking shit about you, just gonna mute this guy. And like don't even block people, because that will also give them like a satisfaction. Like they can just share this.
They can
with them,
screenshot
like,
it, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Just like mute them and just never interact.
What about you, Chesney? Do you deal with any negativity on social media or at work?
Oh yeah. I don't
Fix the
know. I think
client.
people just fucking suck sometimes. I don't know. I think my biggest tip, or the one that I use a lot, is like when that stuff starts to pile up, like taking a mental health day is so important. Like, just your physical health isn't the only thing that can get sick or like can get a cold. And I don't know, like especially for PTO, like paid time off, like you don't have to just have the flu or like have a cold to need a reset. I think also paying attention to your mental, because I don't think you can just wake up one day and in one day just need a mental reset. It's something that builds up, so you don't realize it a lot of times. And I think that negativity can kind of pour into all aspects of your life. So my favorite way to deal with it is just like staying away from social media, like just staying and playing games, or going outside, or going to a restaurant and eating food. Just taking a day away from it all really helps.
That was really well said.
Thanks.
Going on to a more positive side of this, what do you love most about your passion? And we'll talk to Winston first about this one.
What I love most about my passion is that I'm able to meet new friends through this passion, and new content ideas come out of nowhere. And I think one of the challenging things right now that I think many people are having in my role is that we're just trying to find a new form of content that's different from what's being done right now, because the market's like kind of oversaturated with the same kind of content. So I think the funnest bit is just racing and finding new ways to make this content work, and making sure people enjoy it. And I think having positive feedback from just the fans watching and the plays watching is what makes my day a lot. So if any of the CSGO or Fortnite or NBA players are watching this and you want to comment on how good my videos are, that'll make my day. But no, it's really cool having those moments. It's wholesome.
What about you, Tanner? What do you love most about streaming and playing games?
Everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has a past, right? Say, somebody goes through a breakup, or say somebody just got fired from their job, or again, I've said it like I think once or twice now, but for me, it's just trying to put like a smile on somebody's face and to make them laugh. Back at the kind of referencing the Chick-fil-A, we had this like community night or fun night or whatever, and we would dress up. They were asking us like, hey, you want to dress up, say in this like Batman costume or like Spider-Man costume, and to have all those little kids to like be so terrified to walk up. They're like, is that Batman? Is that Spider-Man? But to see them like, and then some people are just super comfortable. They're like, no way, like this is actually Batman. This is actually Spider-Man. To have people just smiling is probably the best in like with what I do, because you never know. Like I said, sometimes people say have a breakup or have a bad day at work, or say they wake up and like 7 birds pooped on their car, and you know what I mean, they're like, well, this isn't going to be a good day, so they hop on, or say they spill their coffee. So yeah, for me, it's just making people smile, making people laugh.
And for you, Proxy, what do you love most about content creation and working with your organization?
Well, I really like to be creative. Like, I love making content, and that's especially why I like to be with Misfits, because they allow me to kind of like explore my own ideas. Because before, or when I was streaming in high school, I was also studying like media and communications. So I was actually planning on joining Misfits as like a videographer. But then like I just fell in love with streaming during that time, and then I just kept on doing that. But I still have this very like creative passion. I'm really happy to have like a job that allows me to be creative.
That's like same for me too. It's so nice to just like kind of decide what you're gonna do that day and like what kind of content you're gonna make.
Yeah, exactly.
Chesney, what do you love most about being an art director at Riot Games?
Honestly, I think my favorite part is the community, and I feel like that's a lot of people's answer to that question, because I don't know, it's just, it feels like family, and I know that's super cheesy, but to have a community with similar passions, it feels so like unifying, and it feels inclusive in the sense like, oh, you're not alone, you've got all of these people you can talk to, and you have all of these like friendships and like relationships that can come from it. And I just love, I don't know, I love talking to players, and I love hearing, even though I don't work on the skins team, I love like hearing skin ideas. Like I love just having conversations about something that I'm passionate about. So I think I just like love sharing that with players.
Winston, did you have any goals that you have this year that you wanted to share with us?
I think one of the main goals coming to this year was I wanted to tell the player stories, right? Like a lot of the plays on GenG and like the content creators, they're pretty out there, like the big names and whatnot, but I don't think anyone's told their story the way they wanted to be told. And I kind of wanted to make it a more personal story for them, where it kind of involves their family and maybe traveling to their hometown and kind of do interviews. I think that'll be really cool. And I think another goal of mine is just hopefully, like, I know there's like this award thing at the end of the year, every single year, for like the esports award.
Oh, the esports awards?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
even like getting nominated for that was just like not even winning anything, but getting nominated and like having my name there would be a pretty satisfying feeling, and like it would make me feel better that I know that I'm in the right area and like the right place, and I know what I'm doing. So
Yeah,
who
I
knows?
remember seeing
guess,
Max's name on there. It was so cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's insane, and so is Damien and everyone else. They're insane. Yeah.
Tanner, do you have any goals this year or that you've completed in the past that you want to share?
Oh, I think doing stuff for charity would be incredible to do. I've worked with Gamers Outreach, I think last year, but now that I'm in a kind of a better spot and things are starting to look better and better, I think branching out and doing stuff for charity would be awesome. So figuring out some kind of charity to take part in and say, do like, I don't know, something ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like I'll wear a costume or, you know, I don't know, dye my hair or something. You know what I mean? Whatever I can do to help, I think is definitely like on my radar this year.
What about you, Proxy? Do you have any goals this year you want to share?
Well, hopefully successfully like grow my art audience and like work around the time zone issue, and maybe get like some like EU viewers that are up late night, or get some NA viewers that fit my schedule. Other than that, I just hope to make a lot of new friends in LA, and yeah, that's it.
What is your schedule right now?
I usually stream like in the morning, so like around like 11 a.m. or something until like 5 p.m.
PST? Yeah. Chesney, do you have any goals this year that you want to share with us?
I think like as a writer, one of my goals this year is to help players feel more validated. I think right now the video game industry is kind of exploding, and it's kind of like seeping into like more like normie industries. And before, it was always seen as a very nerdy thing, not very accepted. It's like, oh yeah, you're a loser, you just play video games like in your basement, like you're not cool. And I think the past couple of years it's slowly gaining in popularity. So I think for me, I just want to like create stuff that makes players feel like, oh yeah, this is really cool, like I'm glad I'm a part of this, like I am proud of this. So yeah, that's just like a little personal goal of mine, I guess.
And then this is a Twitch chat question that I got earlier for you, Chesney. Is there any restrictions on the way that you like? Actually, never mind. I don't like this question. Never mind. I don't like this question. It's kind of like, I guess it goes along with like the question that I got earlier that our Winston brought up, but like the creativity aspect. I think you kind of answered already, but how are you restricted to doing things at Riot because it's like more so for you, like restrictions basically?
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know if there are necessarily any like hard restrictions, but I think every project that we do has to like have a reason. Like we can't just do something because it's cool or it's super fun. Like it has to make sense. And another restriction is like it usually has to be for the players. So we can't just like make this really cool event because we're like, yeah, this would be fun for us. We're like, yeah, we think this would be cool. Like our main focus is doing things for the players. So I guess, I don't know if you would call that a restriction. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, kind of is, yeah.
Yeah.
My next question that I have for you guys actually came from Amanda that you talked about, or who you mentioned earlier, Winston. What's the easiest way for you guys to like meet new friends, especially since we're all working in the esports industry? We can start with Tanner.
I think the events are awesome with like networking, but let alone some of my friends that have been in TSM before me, but I think just events kind of bring everybody together. Like it's a judge-free zone. We all play video games. Doesn't matter what you dress, you wear, what kind of music you listen to. I think that's awesome. I think like even if you are afraid to talk to someone, you already have something in common with them because we're all gamers. So it's not, you shouldn't be super shy. You shouldn't be, just be yourself. But I think like events play a big part in that.
Do you find it's difficult to balance an IRL social life with an online one?
Well, for me, like it kind of walks hand in hand because my online friends are also my IRL friends. So like for me, I feel like I get like the social time I need just by like playing with friends. For example, like we don't have to like necessarily hang out IRL for me to like feel like socially fulfilled. But yeah, I don't really find it that hard to balance because I don't really mind just like spending online time with someone.
And Chesney, this question's different from the other ones because I'm trying to ask you all like one specific different question. What do you do to keep yourself motivated?
Oh, that's tough. That's a tough question. I think I just remember that I play video games and that like I hate using the term like I'm a gamer, but like I'm a gamer. So I don't know. I think I just remember that I am part of the audience that I'm creating stuff for, and it gets me really excited when I don't know, I remember players' faces when they saw Camille in real life, or, Twitch chat going crazy when like Tyler was shit talking Cutie during that stream. I don't know. It just, it feels really good. And even when I'm not feeling motivated or I'm not feeling creative, I kind of just remember like people's reactions and that what I do makes like other people happy. Yeah.
Winston, do you have any final thoughts or words for the podcast?
No, I just wanted to say thank you to you for arranging this podcast. It's it's been a pleasure meeting you guys too. Like just talking with you guys because I do watch you guys I've watched you guys in the past and I love your work moves. So it's just been really cool just talking with you guys. But yeah, no, it's really nice.
How
Thank
about
you.
Tanner? Do you have any final thoughts? Closing statements?
One, thank you for having me. Again, two, it's been nice meeting you guys, talking to you. Thank you for your time. But also, three, shout out to TSM.
Proxy, any closing words?
Well, yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. It was really fun, and it was nice learning about all of you. It was really interesting to hear like everyone's different stories and opinions and tips and whatever. So it was really nice. Thank you.
And Chesney, closing words?
Oh geez, closing words. I don't know, this was super fun. I love hearing about different personalities in the industry because our industry is huge and it's only getting bigger. So I think it's just some fun insight into different aspects. So yeah, thanks for putting this together. This was really cool.
Yeah, it was really awesome. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. My voice just cracked. Sorry.
Don't get emotional.
There's a command, ODTS dog. Do you know if you can hit it? That has all of their Twitters. And for the streams, TannerSlays, yeah?
Yes.
And Proxyfox. Is there a lol in there? Or is it just
No.
Proxyfox on Twitch?
Just Proxyfox on Twitch.
Cool. And then Winston or Chesney, if you guys ever stream sometimes, what's the stream? No? He's shaking his head like, nah.
Just I don't know. Let me look at GenG's Twitch. Hold on, give me a moment.
What about you, Chesney?
Mine is just Moosey. Like not Moosey, but just Moosey because I'm annoying.
And they're all in the Twitch chat right now, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't
yeah.
stream, but yeah,
Hi,
support GenG Esports.
yeah.
That's it.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate
Thank
you
you.
coming in.
Thank you.
Again, this was like a pretty cool podcast I wanted to put together because I mean a lot of people want to work in the esports industry, and I think getting the perspectives of streamers, someone that works like in the gaming like scene like at Riot, and then someone like a videographer, like the behind the scenes, like what we watch on social media, was a really cool thing. So I hope you guys at least learned one thing or maybe multiple things. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Be sure to check their social medias out and if they stream. But yeah, appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.